If I asked you to picture the responsible one in your family growing up, you already have a name in your head. You didn't even have to think about it. That's not a coincidence, and it's not a compliment either, no matter how many times someone called them mature for their age. There's a job description hiding under that label, and by the time you find out what it actually cost, you're going to look back at a decade of your life completely differently. Every household runs on a hierarchy that's supposed to move one direction. Parents carry the weight. Kids get to be kids underneath it. But weight doesn't just disappear when a parent can't hold it, when they're sick, drowning, checked out, or simply not equipped. It goes somewhere, and it almost always lands on whichever kid in the house is the most capable, the most emotionally switched on, the one everyone unconsciously agrees can be trusted not to drop it. The most emotionally responsible kid in a family is rarely the healthiest one. They're just the one who adapted fastest. Family therapists have a name for what they adapted to. It's called parentification, and it's been studied since 1973, when psychiatrist Ivan Bazarmenyanegi formally named it, building on work from family therapist Salvador Minuchin, who'd already been describing almost the same thing years earlier as the parental child. Same injury, different label. It happens when a kid gets pulled into a role that belongs to a parent inside a family that's short one functioning adult. That kid didn't choose the job. The job chose them because they were the only one in the house qualified to do it. Not all of this looks the same, and that's exactly why so many people miss it in themselves. Instrumental parentification is the practical kind. Cooking dinner at 9, managing a grocery budget at 12, raising your siblings while a parent works, disappears, or just doesn't show up. It's visible. Neighbors comment on it. Sometimes it even gets praised. Emotional parentification is quieter, and it does more damage. That's the kid who becomes the parent's therapist, the one who hears about the affair, the debt, the marriage falling apart, not because they asked, but because there was no other adult in the house available to hold it. Nobody claps for that one. Nobody even notices it's happening, including, most of the time, the kid. This job doesn't end at 18. It just changes uniforms. The instrumental kid grows into the adult who can run a household, a team, an entire crisis single-handedly, and who has never once let someone take care of them without feeling like a burden for needing it. The emotional kid grows into the adult who reads a room in 3 seconds flat, who somehow keeps ending up with people who need fixing, and who feels a very specific, very quiet guilt anytime they actually rest. Not tired, guilty. Those are different feelings. And if you've felt both of them on the same Sunday afternoon, you already know exactly which one runs your life. None of this was ever a personality trait. It got sold to you as one, responsible, mature, wise beyond your years, but it was a job assignment handed to a kid who was never once asked if they wanted the position, and never once got paid for holding it. Here's the detail that actually changes things. A job you never applied for is a job you're allowed to resign from. The kid who held the house together almost never gets thanked for it. Usually, they just get handed more to hold, because it worked the first time and nobody in the family ever stopped to ask what it cost. If a version of this was your childhood, say so in the comments. I actually read them, and half the time they end up more honest than the video.